Six Sigma performance. 3.4 defects per million opportunities for defects. Six Sigma improvement, breakthrough key outcomes of a business show 70% improvement. Specification. What the customer requires to be satisfied, value surpassing acceptable from unacceptable. Rumba. Appropriateness of specification. Reasonable, understandable, measurable, believable, attainable/achievable. Bad definition of quality. Compliance with specifications. Good definition of quality. On target performance with as little variation as possible. SIPOC. Supplier, input, process, output, customer. Six Sigma transfer function. Y equals Fx plus E. DPMO defects per million opportunities. Hidden factory costs. Below the surface. Rolled throughput yield. High success in each component for successful final product, DICE, combined overall yield determinism. Principle that you can create a desired outcome by configuring and controlling inputs in a certain manner. Superstitious delusions. False notion that correlation imply causation. Confounding variable. One variable that strongly affects two others to correlate and appear to cause each other. Causal condition. Reasonable explanation for cause and effect. Connection under various environmental conditions. Ruled out potential confounding variables. Variation. Deviation from expectation. Mean. Central tendency of a process. Common cause variation. Natural, you can't eliminate it, can reduce but not eliminate and transfer function special cause variation. Directly caused by something special. Special causes. Specific things you can identify and do something about, X and transfer function leverage. The ability to apply effort toward the critical few X's that have the greatest impact on your desired Y. 80-20 rule. 20% of inputs account for 80% influence. Out of control. X is behaving too erratically. 5 phases/DMAIC. Define, measure, analyze, improve, control. Tollgates. In DMAIC, business processes are improved by following a structured method with set steps, or tollgates. Complete one before the next. Six Sigma can be applied in 4 areas, domains of activity. PDMT, thinking for breakthrough, processing for breakthrough, designing for breakthrough, managing for breakthrough. Thinking for breakthrough focuses on improving the capacity and efficiency of every employee, creates cultural change, speaking the same language. Processing for breakthrough focuses on improving existing processes, and a large number of employees are involved in this task, focuses on optimizing the performance of existing business and operational processes. Designing for breakthrough. Fewer people are directly involved in designing, which focuses on improving the designs of new products and processes. Design prior. Managing for breakthrough. Every organization has a small number of leaders who are responsible for setting strategy and driving overall business results. Entitlement level. The level of performance a process has demonstrated it can operate at in its best case. Even if it doesn't all the time, any process is capable of operating at this level best a process can do without redesign. Design of Six Sigma DFSS is an approach for planning, configuring, qualifying, and launching products, services, transactions, processes, systems, and events that move quality upstream in an organization. Upstream. Anticipate the source of problems before they occur so you can design a plan to avoid them. Functional representatives. Senior corporate staff members who run their respective departments or have large responsibilities in those departments. Deployment leader. Responsible for launching and sustaining Six Sig. Ensures the effective alignment of corporate strategic goals with business unit deployment plans. Champions. Responsible for disseminating and successfully applying Six Sigma know-how. Black Belt. Highest level of statistical knowledge. Green Belt. Medium skill statistical knowledge. Yellow Belt. Everyday statistical knowledge. Master Black Belt. Are the trainers. Life cycle of Six Sigma. Initialize, deploy, implement, expand, sustain. Low-hanging fruit. Obvious opportunities in first few projects with big returns. Self-healing. Culture in the sustain phase, continue to adapt and train new employees. Project life cycle. Practical problem, Six Sigma project, statistical problem, statistical solution, control plan, practical solution. Results. Affinity diagram. Modified brainstorming technique has the advantage of gathering all inputs from group members without inhibition of criticism. Baseline. Current performance. Objective. Desired performance. Time series chart. Graphical, tracks the progress of improvement. Long-term data, not short-term hard savings. Reduce expenses resulting in a financial improvement. Soft savings. Not directly traceable but you know the project helped. Potential savings. Hard savings that still require an action to be realized. Problem statement. Significantly clarifies the current situation by specifically identifying the problem and its severity, location and financial impact, also serves as a greater communication tool, helping to get buy-in and support from others. Hidden operation. Wasted work / hidden factory. Breakthrough improvement. 70% improvement. Objective statement. Spells out the specific quantifiable improvement amount planned to exceed the baseline indicated in the problem statement. Determine how long project will take. Process owner. The person who will get your project off the ground, the person who has the primary responsibility for the results of the process associated with the problem you're solving. World hunger, boil the ocean. Management and process issues. Process map. Flowchart, picture of activities and events in a process, cross boundaries, include quantitative terms / measures like value, time, resources, yield, statistical distributions, use shapes and connectors, uses swim lanes, operation cycle, resources use, value added by step, costs of resources consumes to be state. Future ideal state of process map. As a state. Current process map very important, sets baseline, sees the process what is / what should be going on, stimulates closed loop behavior. Suppliers. Systems, people, organizations, or other sources of material, information, or other resources that are consumed or transformed in the process. Inputs. Materials etc., provided by supplier to be consumed or transformed in process. Process, SIPOC set of actions and actives that convert inputs into outputs. Outputs. Products or services created by process. Customers. Receivers of outputs. Value stream. The end-to-end chain activities, events, and processes, which begins with the customer requirements and includes everything needed to provide the customer your product or service. Genki Jinbutsu. Go and see. Gemba. Real place. Cycle time. The time it takes for the entire process, VSM, to be completed from end to end. Talked time. The pace needed to exactly meet customer demand, German word beatbox score. Key operational metrics at the top of the VSM: LAD time, value and non-value added times, brainstorming tools. Fishbone, affinity. Fishbone. Man, method, measurement, environment, material, machine. FMEA. Failure mode effects analysis, a tool to quantify and prioritize risk within a process, product, or system and then track actions to mitigate that risk. Failure modes. Ways a process step may go wrong. RPN. Risk priority number. Requirements, FMEA, the additional criteria that determine the success of the step's execution. Statistical process control. Method of using specialized statistical probability calculations to monitor and detect external influences on a system's performance. Attribute data. Pass or fail, good / bad, area codes, S, M, L, XL. Continuous data. You can add or subtract any two values of your data. Ordinal data. Attribute data that can be ranked in order. Statistics. Branch of mathematics that distills raw number, data, and measurements into knowledge and insight. Distribution. Statistical term that describes the relative likelihood of observing values from a variable factor. Measures of central tendency. Mean, median, mode. Median. Ideal for data with outliers. Entitlement variation. Short-term variation, chain of causation is unknown, common cause variation. Disturbances to the process. Long-term variation currents, non-random currents. Long-term variation. When underlying disturbances are added to natural short-term variation, the overall combination is called long-term variation. Non-random variation. Caused by special forces whose effects on the process are readily observed and understood, special cause/assignable variation entitlement. Level of variation that is naturally built into a process, the amount of variation you can expect from a process under its best conditions, when all special causes are identified and eliminated. Another term for short-term variation. Using Six Sigma methodology, a company at 6.0 would have a failure rate of 3.4 dpmo SIPOC means. Supplier, input, process, output, customer. What is y equals fx plus e? The Six Sigma transfer function. What is a process? Any repetitive action in a business environment. In Six Sigma, VOC means variability of controls. False specifications can be one-sided, or two-sided. True. Where do you start Six Sigma? The executive sponsor decides what is Six Sigma? All the above. What is a defect? A measurable characteristic not conforming to a customer requirement. A company moving to Six Sigma will typically experience a culture change? True. The principle which states you can create a desired outcome by configuring and controlling the inputs in a specific manner is determinism. The green belt has the highest level of statistical knowledge in the Six Sigma belt system. False. Correlation implies causation. False. The Six Sigma core team, steering committee, should be cross-functional. True. Variation tends to be larger in the short term and smaller in the long term. False. In Six Sigma, thinking for breakthrough is the realm of activities that focuses on optimizing the performance of existing business and operational processes. False. Which of the following is not a responsibility of the core team, steering committee, for a Six Sigma program? Leading complex projects. Every result has one or more causes. True. The Six Sigma deployment leader is responsible for disseminating and successfully applying Six Sigma technical know-how. False. Rolled throughput yield is the average yield of the individual process steps in an end-to-end process. False. A Six Sigma process promised to reduce raw material inventory from $7,500,000 to $5 million by June 1st. What is the percentage change? Minus 33.33%. What required element is missing from the following goal statement? Reduce software engineer recruiting time from an average of 155 days to 51 days, with an upper limit of 65 days. This change will meet the current maximum goal of 70 days greater than 99% of the time. It will support our employer of choice goal and achieve annualized savings of $145,000 per month. The time frame. A process consists of 3 steps with yields of 98%, 97%, and 99% respectively. What is the rolled throughput yield for the end-to-end process? 94.11%. A business case is a tool used to characterize the problem and estimate the potential value of a Six Sigma improvement project. True. Business case. As a company, the Customer Business Process Scorecard includes VOC, VOB, and VOP ratings. True. In a SIPOC diagram, the number of process steps should not exceed 7. True. Point of use observation is a proactive means to gather the voice of the customer. True. a project that has been right-sized can have more than one why. False. Focus groups are a reactive method for gathering the voice of the customer. False. Talk time is how long the entire process takes to complete end to end. False. The as-is format of a process map identifies how the process will be configured to yield improvement. False. The customer requires 500 parts per day from an organization working 2 8-hour shifts per day. What is the talk time in minutes? 1.92. Talk time is a German word for beat. True. Which of the following forms of mapping typically has swim lanes? Process map. A process map uses normal flow chart shapes, but add metrics such as time, distance, and yield. True. Which of the following forms of mapping has the most amount of detail? Process map. A value stream map include information flows, inventory levels, and process step cycle times. True. All of the following are measures of central tendency except range. A project team wants to identify key drivers and outcomes among critical inputs. What diagramming tools should the team use? Interrelationship diagram. Diagramming techniques help to identify possible factors, x's, that may be contributing to the output. Y. True. If you can meaningfully subtract data values from a sample of measurements, then you have continuous data. True. Employee turnover is an example of common cause, natural variation. False. Infamy. Row at severity equals 8, occurrence equals 3, and detection equals 5. What is the RPN? 120 is the term describing the relative likelihood, probability, of observing values for a continuous, variable, factor. Distribution. FMEA stands for Failure Modes Effects Analysis. Which of the following is not one of the 6 typical category for a cause and effect? Fishbone, Ishikawa, diagram? Management. A given failure mode in FMEA may have one, and only one, potential effect. False.